Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something I know so many of you deal with. You can understand English perfectly fine. You watch movies, you get the jokes, but then when it's your turn to speak, the words just disappear. Well, we're going to turn that frustration into real confidence with 5 simple practices you can start doing every single day. I mean, does this sound familiar? That little jolt of panic when you have a chance to speak English and your first instinct is to just, nope, not today. You are so not alone here. It feels like this giant wall, but trust me, it's one we can absolutely get over. Okay, so how do we actually get past that fear? In this explainer, we've got a whole toolkit for you. We'll start by talking about what this speaking block even is. Then we're going to dive into 5 super practical techniques: building a cheat sheet, testing your pronunciation, narrating your world, imitating native speakers, and then the big one, thinking in English. So first things first, what even is this speaking block? It's that really frustrating gap between what you know passively, all the words and grammar stored in your brain, and your ability to actively use it when you're on the spot in a conversation. All right, let's jump right into our very first technique. This one is all about being prepared. It's about building this like a safety net for yourself so you can walk into a conversation feeling ready instead of feeling scared. And this is what's so cool about this idea. See, when you're just learning single words, your brain is doing this crazy juggling act. First, it has to find the right word, then it has to figure out how to put it into a sentence. But when you learn whole phrases, you just skip that whole step. It takes you from hesitating to just flowing, from mental traffic jams to actual confidence. So, what should you actually put on this cheat sheet? Honestly, keep it super simple. Just pull up the Notes app on your phone and jot down a few of these go-to phrases. Things like, I wanted to ask you, or I was just wondering if. Having those ready to go is like having a launch pad for your conversation. It takes the pressure off so your brain can catch up and think about what you actually want to say next. It's a lifesaver for everyday chats and even for exam prep. Let's move on to technique number 2. And for this one, you don't need anything special, because the tool you need is probably the very device you're holding right now. It can be your own personal, private pronunciation coach. Think about it for a sec. How good is your pronunciation really? It's a tough one to answer, right? Because unless you have someone to give you feedback all the time, you're kind of just guessing. So how do you get that objective feedback? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. You just ask your phone. Seriously, you talk to Siri or Google Assistant or whichever AI lives in your pocket. And here's why this is so brilliant. If you say something and Siri or Google just doesn't get it, that's not you failing, that's free feedback. These AIs are tuned to standard pronunciation. So when they get it wrong, it's a private, zero judgment way to find out exactly which words or sounds you need to work on. It's incredible data. Okay, this next one is one of my favorites because you can literally do it anywhere, anytime. It's all about creating your own little English bubble, even if you're just by yourself at home. It's so simple. Just talk to yourself out loud. Narrate what you're doing as you do it. Little things like, okay, I am about to call my mom, or, oh, I just got a message from my friend. This does 2 amazing things. 1, you're turning your thoughts into actual spoken practice. And 2, and this is the magic part, the moment you can't find a word, you're forced to go, wait, what's the word for that? And you look it up. You're literally finding and fixing your own vocabulary gaps in real time. All right, technique number 4. This one is less about the words themselves and more about the music of English. We're talking intonation, rhythm, the flow, all the stuff that makes you sound less like you're reading and more like you're speaking naturally. So here's how you do it. It's a simple 4-step loop. First, you just listen to a short phrase from a movie or a show. Then, boom, pause the video right after you hear it. Now you repeat it back, trying to copy the speaker's melody exactly. Then for a little bonus round, try to say the same thing but using your own words. That really checks if you got the meaning, okay? And this right here, this is the most important part. So listen up. When you do this, you're gonna feel like you're doing a silly impression. To your own ears, it's going to sound like you're exaggerating like crazy, maybe even like you're being a clown. And you know what? That's good. That's a sign you're actually doing it right because you have to overdo it to break your old habits and retrain your mouth and your brain. Okay, so all these other techniques, the cheat sheets, talking to yourself, the imitation, they're all leading up to this, the final technique. This is kind of the holy grail of fluency. It's when you stop just speaking English and you actually start thinking in English. And this visual just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, that's the slow way. You have a thought in your native language, you mentally translate it, and then you speak it in English. It's clunky, it's slow, it's exhausting. What we want is the path on the right. The thought just starts in English. There's no translation step. It's direct, it's fast, that's fluence. So, how do you actually get there? You treat it like meditation. You're going to notice your brain switching back to your native language all the time. And that's totally fine. The practice isn't about being perfect. It's just about noticing when it happens and gently, without any frustration, just guiding your thoughts back to English. Every time you do that, that muscle gets a little bit stronger. So, there you have it. 5 really powerful, practical things you can do every single day to crush that speaking block and build real, genuine confidence. They all build on each other, but the best way to start is to just pick one. So, my question for you is which one are you going to try first?